What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in to the Great Christmas Light Fight debut interview episode. It's that time of year again. It's the Great Christmas Light Fight season. We have with us today Emmy Award-winning supervising producer from the Great Christmas Light Fight, Ann Hill. So without further ado, let's get the Emmy winner on here. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Charlie. Hi, everybody in the Great Christmas Light Fight community.
Heck yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, well, I do have a hat that Brian sent me, but I didn't get on the show, so I don't wear it too often. So
me too.
Oh, nice. Green versus red. I like it.
Yes.
So a couple. So my behind the scenes of baseball here, folks. My audio is not normally. I'm smart enough to got a couple Bose things here prepared for doubling up. Neither one worked today. So if my volume's too loud, if you're hearing that feedback, people, please let us know. So let's do a quick roll call. We have some light fighters in the group. We got Patrick saying hey to you.
Hi, Mock family, Maywald family.
Well, we got Jordan Fault. We got Brian, and you and I were just talking about him behind the scenes. We got Troy Campbell tuning in. We got some light fighters that are trickling in. So, and for the folks that don't know who you are and what do you do?
So I'm a TV producer and director, and I've been doing it for 28 years now. And I've worked on the Great Christmas Light Fight since season 1. I did have a short time where I wasn't working on the show, season 2 and 3, because I came to Houston and was working on a show called The Little Couple. And I came to Houston, did that, and couldn't do it. But then on season 4 was brought in again, thankfully, and the schedule worked with both shows and have been on it ever since. So I am the senior supervising producer of the show, and I am in charge, boots on the ground, of Gold Team. And we're self-named. I named us that. We used to be yellow, and I was like, nah, we're gold. We had so many wins. I was like, we're gold. So I haven't kept track, so I'm not sure where we are on our wins, but we have lots of them. And I mean, this show is like the Super Bowl of Christmas, right? So It's like everybody is a winner to be on it in the first place. So truthfully, everybody's a winner. And certainly it's me, and I keep in touch with everybody that I've worked with pretty much through the years. So yeah, so that's what I do. I've worked on a ton of shows. And then somewhat recently, within the past, I guess about a year at this point, I started my own company here in Houston. And it's a consulting company. And basically what it is the same thing that I do for anybody who's on camera. Whether it's on-air talent, whether it's a judge or a host, or most often everyday people like the light fighters. So teaching them how to be on camera, or teaching anybody how to be on camera, everyday people who are selling their product, their service, their whatever. And so many people are on social media, on video now, that it's something that if you want to make your business bigger and better, it's a lot about how to be on camera, how to look on camera, the frame, all the things. So I do public speaking engagements, I do panels, I do one-on-one consultations, classes, you name it, teaching people how to be better and bring their best self, be the best version of themselves for camera, which is what I do with the Great Christmas Light Fight and all the families that I've worked with.
Speaking of I checked out your company's webpage, and so Monday, a couple of Mondays, two days ago, I did a live stream, and then I immediately switched over to a Patreon live stream, and I read through everyone you've worked with. Like, my God, is a who's who of the Hollywood industry.
It's insane. Like my website designer person was asking, like, who have you worked with anybody? And I was like, yeah. So I started pulling up names, and like as I was, sending him the list, it was like an email, so it was like long this way, right? Vertically long. And then when I saw it on the site, I was like, whoa, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, the number of everyday people I've worked with is like 20 times that. So
Gotcha.
it's really fun because I'm grateful to have had, all sorts
Oh,
of
yeah.
things in my career that have made me able to do that. I did red carpet interviews. I've done movie, like they're called junket interviews,
Mhm.
all sorts of shows. So yeah, it's been fun.
So
It was
let's
fun.
talk about the Emmy win. So what show did you win the Emmy for?
So that was fun. In fact, hold on. Let me see if I can show. There's the girl.
Oh, look at you. Let's go.
There she
Nice.
is. I know. Her name's Emma, my roommate. Yeah, so that was a show for Netflix that I shot a couple years ago, and the way it kind of trickles. I won the Emmy in 2024, so last year, because I think we aired in 23. But it's a show called Hack My Home, and it's a show. It's a really sweet show that we make homes work for whomever it is, whatever their problems are. For example, one family they were pregnant for their second child, and all of a sudden they were having quadruplets.
Oh.
Yeah. So the nursery wasn't big enough to accommodate 4 cribs. So we went in and changed their home around to accommodate not only the babies in the baby stage, right, but also as they got older, school age up through going to college, we made bedrooms that worked to house, adult children or children that are, adult sized. So we hacked their homes, and we just made homes a lot more efficient for the homeowner.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of like Extreme Makeover Home Edition, which I also worked on. In fact, that's how I got onto this show, Great Christmas Light Fight. I worked for Brady and Max. Max is the executive producer in post, and he's one of the showrunners. And Max was the co-EP. That's why I started co-EP back in Extreme, and then Brady was the showrunner. And then Brady started doing Great Christmas Light Fight, brought me on, and then the woman who was leaving the show at the time, and my upcoming supervising producer was coming in, but she left the show and went on to do her own thing as she grew up through the title ranks, and she brought me on to Hack My Home. So it was kind of like a bunch of Extreme Makeover Home Edition people on Hack My Home, and it was a mini version of Extreme Makeover. So it was a fun show, and it was completely unexpected. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't expecting that we would win, and I set my camera to record, and I was like, on the off chance, like, we were freaking out, and I'm like jumping on the stage in like stilettos that are this tall. Like it was a really, really fun and exciting.
Nice. I watched the first episode of it, and the basement went from unfinished to, oh my God! So I'm in Wichita, Kansas. We have a science museum here called Exploration Place, and it reminded me of that. You go in, it's a giant. It's awesomeness. I don't know how else to describe it other than a science fiction explodes in the basement.
Oh my God! Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, that one was incredible because the house was. I mean, the basement wasn't even up to code, so we had to bring it up to code, which is not anything that is on camera worthy, but certainly a cost. And Netflix absorbed the cost for all these families. And it was a tremendous makeover. It was so exciting. And that was a really fun creative process. Like before we even started shooting, we got to kind of figure out what all these families needed and how to fit these things. It was like a jigsaw puzzle of episodes, and of each episode individually, of the episodes all together. Like we had in that one, for example, we had the office that slid and the closet that slid. In another one, we had a bed that went up into the ceiling soffit and then came back down to become a bed. But when it was up, it was a couch. So we had those, and we needed to kind of which episode's going to get that. And so it was a big jigsaw puzzle, and it was really exciting. Another one was a roundhouse, which the builders had never done a roundhouse, and even like the software that they have to figure out square footage. It with rounded ceilings, you lose square footage once your head knocks the wall, right? That's all storage. So it was a fun show. It was exciting. It was a good, yeah.
So before we get into any light fight questions and we catch up on some comments here, what's a fun fact about you that people may not know or might be surprised about?
Well, so I've been in this business my entire career, the entertainment business and behind the camera. But initially, I got a camera for Christmas one year when I was in third grade. They were massive. I was showing my age, but they were massive cameras back then. And I set it up with all these rig wires to catch Santa so I could film him coming in and dropping off presents. And so I filmed it. And then I filmed, we had puppies. So I filmed videos with puppies and Barbies and all the things. So I kind of had it a little bit in my blood. And then last year I was home for a family reunion, and I learned that my grandfather had done videos, had shot videos and edited them. I don't know how back then.
Okay.
He also did graphics. So they went on a family road trip, and there was a map, and he used something that was lightable, and he lit it. And so this little fire went up this line of the route they traveled. That's was cool. Graphic. So, so it's always been in my blood. But then when I was in high school, I was in the theater program, and I was on stage. So and my theater program was incredible. Most of us went off to study acting. And I went to NYU to study acting, and I studied Strasberg, which is based on using real emotions based on your life into the character. Also got a psychology degree. And so, I know. So all of those things kind of came together. And about midway through college, one of my friends was like, "You should be a producer." And I was like, "Oh, how dare you?" And then about halfway through, I was like, she's right. I'm better on this side. I just am. But it really lends to the job I do, because I am able to communicate to the people that are on camera and make them feel safer, more comfortable. Talk to them about being authentic and excited and all the things. So, that's kind of, I guess, a little fun fact of.
Yeah, I agree. I had a lot of fun learning that.
Genetics.
I only know about Strasberg being an acting technique because they talked about it on Barry on HBO. I'm like, yeah, that's how I know.
Yeah.
See, Jordan here is inviting you to see the house. Can't stay long, but he did say that this is his final year for the display. That's surprising. I don't know if he's pulling our leg or not, because he just redid an entire train for the Polar Express. Huh. Yeah.
So I have a really funny story, which I do have notes here, y'all, if I end up kind of referring, just because so many fun memories came up when I was talking to Charlie prior to doing this. But one funny thing is when I first moved into this house in Houston, I had shot with, or maybe I was shooting with Jordan Maywald, and my house was fully filled with stuff. The owner walked out, took a suitcase, walked out. He was there at the closing, right? So I got into some of my closets and was clearing out stuff, and I found 2 blow molds. And Jordan had blow molds at the time. And we had this funny bit where Carter was like, "And where's that one from? And where's that one from? And where's that one from?" And I told Jordan, I was like, "I just found 2 blow molds and I'm going to give them to you. But because of the show and rules and all that, I was like, but I can't give them to you until after it's aired. And I think maybe even a year after that." So a year and change later, I went to, I think Bee Cave or Bernie was his location name. And I gave him the 2 blow molds.
Okay.
But Jordan, I can't believe you're not doing it anymore. What? That's insane. But how many wishes has he? I mean, what's that number up to? Make-A-Wish is I think it was 10 when I was there.
Patrick wants you to settle a debate, and there is some debate in the light fight community, and maybe you could be the definitive. Who is the youngest champion ever on the Great Christmas Light Fight?
You know, this is like if
you ask ChatGPT, it's Jordan. But if you had the Blasco family on there with a couple young tykes on there, do you have an opinion?
I don't remember. I don't know the Blasco family because I didn't work with them.
Okay.
But I can tell you that from my experience with my families, Jordan Maywald was one, and Jordan in Nashville. Jordan, I have it written somewhere. Jordan Winton was also one of the younger ones. I think he was 18. I think Jordan was 18 when he did it, I believe.
Yeah, if memory serves.
And they were the head honcho leaders of their family pack.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not sure about the Blasco kids, though. They may have us beat on those ages.
Yeah, Brian will know here if Brian wants to update us, because Brian knows everything. I want to say they're 10-ish. They're 10-ish.
Okay, then that's the youngest for sure.
Well, the theory is that they can't win because how's a 10-year-old going to climb a 40-foot tree? Can't be done. So it's got to have the adults do it, right? But Jordan does 90% of the work himself.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Gaetano is a fan of Hack My Home.
Thank you.
House on Holbert, Carl tuning in. Brian says congratulations on the Emmy. He's more partial to the light fight trophy, though.
I mean,
which is heavier?
It's like comparable. I mean, now I know what the light fight winners feel like because I too put Emmy, my Emma girl, on my pillow that first night, and she slept beside me, much like many of the winners I know.
Right.
It's a huge thing. I mean, it is like winning the Great Christmas Light Fight. They're so similar. You know, it's like
what's heavier, the light fight trophy?
Doing the skill that you do.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
So, so you became involved with the light fight through Extreme Makeover, then, right?
I did, yes. So I came on season 1. Brady and Max and Felicia was on the show. Although I hadn't worked with her, I'd heard of her, and she was on the show. So yes, so I came through that route. And good. I loved it just because pretty much I can say 99% of my career has been kind, good, wholesome family shows.
Look at you.
Or very specific to like car people or gaming people, but like all of it's been kind television. Like that's one of the things, like I won't do anything that makes me want to like scrub off when I get off the set.
Well, I don't know. Some of the Extreme Makeovers, you probably got dirt everywhere. Probably had to scrub off for that.
I scrubbed off dirt, but I don't want to scrub off ick. No one wants to scrub off ick.
What was your first producing gig?
So my first producing was I was in news. I started in news in New York City. And that was incredible because at the time we could do so much. I mean, you could touch the equipment, which anybody who knows me knows that equipment is not my strength. But it was cool because like I was able to kind of like get my hands in, and I also learned how to be really fast on, you know, it's like breaking news. Like you have to be quick on your feet. So like that applies to Great Christmas Light Fight because we'll be out there and I'll be like, that is so cool. We have to do something. And it's like, we just whip it up and like put it on, you know, on camera, whether they use it or not. Well, that's another thing. But news. And so that gave me a really nice kind of starting place. And then the next show I was on was I moved to LA and worked on what show was it? To Tell the Truth. That was the one with Kermit Dog.
That was what, for back in the 70s or 80s, and then they brought it back, right?
Yes, and like it was before the pandemic, but we would go and prep from wherever we lived. Most everybody lived in LA except me, but we would go to Los Angeles and work together and prep the episodes. And even then there was another reincarnation of To Tell the Truth.
Mm-hmm.
So that show is, continues to come back. But yeah, it started forever ago.
Yeah, rehashing it, good ideas. I like shows like that. It's kind of in my wheelhouse. So you've been all over the world. You've been Japan, Haiti. You've been everywhere, all from and everywhere. Is there any certain country or experience that stands out to you, or anything like that?
Well, I will tell you this. I shot in. I did a show called Secret Princes, and I shot my home base. Well, first of all, we shot the first part of the show, which takes place in the U.S. and it's a bunch. The show concept is it's a bunch of princes who come to the US and take on like a different name, a different identity, kind of, to find love who cares about them as they are, not for their titles, right?
Okay.
So we shot the first part in Austin, and then the second part we shot in my home base was London. So I lived there for almost 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went from there. We went to Italy for Medici. We went to Russia for Romanov. Mm-hmm. We went to Ireland for a family Plunkett. And then we were in England for the production company and a noble there too. So one of the producers that was to work with me in London is a woman named Tara Webb. And Tara, I brought on to Great Christmas Light Fight.
Nice.
So yeah, so she was dual citizen. Like I think her mom was British and her father was American, or vice versa. Anyway, she was dual citizen. So she came over and I was like, Brady, you have to talk to her. You have to talk to her. She's so great. And he loved her. We all loved her, and the families loved her. And she worked on it for several seasons. And then she went on, and now she's working on like America's Got Talent and Dancing with the Stars. And I mean, you name it. She's got a resume to die for. But I brought her over. Work ethic. She had great work ethic.
Yeah.
But as far as the countries I've worked in, I mean, I think there is something that I pull being somebody who watches people. I take in people. So I think everywhere I went, I took in a little something that helps me to help other people. And they're also different. I mean, the things that stand out, Japan is the cleanest place I've ever been. And they're so incredibly polite. And no one even looks you in the eye publicly. Like everybody just keeps to their own self. Italy, I mean, come on, the food. And the culture. I mean, it's very like camaraderie, people go and like sit outside with each other and dine every night. Russia was really unexpectedly cool. It wasn't like on my list of places to go, but it became like kind of one of my favorites. It was really interesting. And we were there during white nights, so it never got dark. We could not do this light fight there. At certain parts of the year, there were no light part to that, like Great Christmas Light Fight. Haiti, I went to, that was a really special experience. That actually really stamped and solidified kind of my choices moving forward. That was for Extreme Makeover Home Edition. So I happened to be, I say shot it up. I had all my shots to be able to go to Haiti. And we were shooting a show in Florida for a family that what they did was brought water purifiers to Haiti during the cholera. Yeah. So that family, we sent them on vacation, but we felt like we needed to do something while they were on vacation to kind of further their mission. And so I took in 10 water purifiers, and I stayed in an orphanage with no water, no electricity. I really wanted to adopt a little girl there. But it was a really interesting experience to see like the happiness in such an impoverished place. Like, they have serious struggles, yes, but they found happiness in small things and shared interaction. It was an eye eye-opening experience for sure.
Well, I went back. You travel that many places, you're gonna take things from it, probably.
What's that?
So if you travel that many places and do that many different things, you're gonna take a little bit of something from each place you go.
Yeah.
So, and it sounds like you were doing amazing work there. So
it was cool. It was really special. It was very emotional. And I was the last flight out for like 3 weeks. And Haiti could be like one of the most gorgeous places, but they have just stripped it of its beauty, and it would not be a pleasant place to stay for as long as I had to.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to see.
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about the water purifiers or what he's talking about, but it sounds like a Hallmark movie. Oh, the princess.
It was so fun. That was so fun.
Brian saying he worked with Maggie as their producer, and she was awesome to work with.
Yes, Maggie's amazing.
And apparently, Brian,
he's been on the show forever too. Like, we are so fortunate that everybody loves this show so much that we all come back every season. It's like the same faces, and it's so fantastic. I mean, to have that level of experience on the show, but experience in the business as well. And I mean, it really, the show pulls great people.
So the show this year's season debuts. It's going to be on December 4th. You're going to debut back-to-back episodes. So you're a producer on the show. Kind of walk us through your main responsibilities for the Great Christmas Light Fight and what a day in the life looks like for you on set.
Okay, so so being the supervising producer, so there's 4 teams out on the road all at the same time. Purple, red, green, and gold. And so part of my responsibility is to help build the documents so that everybody is on the same page. We all jump shows all year long. And so we come back, and even if we've done it before, it's kind of like, all right, what's the refresher? What's the way that makes it cohesive, right? Each segment of the episodes are different producing teams and different crews, and of course different families. So to make it visually cohesive and formulaically cohesive, I help create those documents that keeps us all on the same page. And then throughout the course of the season, I'm kind of making sure that everybody's, thumbs up. And if anybody has questions, we all kind of jump on together as a group of producers, but I'm kind of that lead person, having been on the show for so long and knowing it so well. So let's see. I mean, we could go all the way back to like when we're first handed over the information. Do you want to go that far back? Like, so casting. Okay. So casting casts and they, use footage that the families submitted, and they edit it, and they do an interview with the family. It's their big on camera interview with the casting team. And then that is edited and sent to ABC for approvals. And so that all happens before the producing teams and crew come on. So by the time I come on, everybody's been cast, and we are told who we are going to be producing. And so the first thing that happened that first week is just absorbing all the materials. I mean, there's folders of photos and videos and applications and documents and things that they've spoken about. And then we get on phone calls with Felicia and Christina and Bree and talk about all the things they have talked about, and where we are as far as knowing what we know. And so it's just study. We research. So by the time I'm talking to the families, like, I know them. Like, I know tons about them. I've seen their location. I've looked at it for like answers I need. And so so that's kind of step one. And then the next step is calling them and talking to them. And so that first conversation is often now post-pandemic is often a scout. So we have, we talk to them, but then we also have them show us around with their phone, and they walk us around, and I'll say, me the tree, how tall is the tree in front? Or where are your power lines? Or where can we put the crew holding? Or where can we put this, that, or the other? Where can we put bathrooms? Oh my God, that's always a thing. The portas come in. Our teams are really good though, because they for the most part, put them in like on the day that we start shooting and take them out like as soon as we leave. So it's weird to have porta potties land in your yard, but at the same time they move pretty quickly out. But so there's a lot of that. And then also we get into creative. So the families have a display that's show worthy already. So that at that point, it's just kind of talking about, okay, where do we need to make some tweaks? Where can I add some of my creative brain power and problem solving, knowing, everybody gets very into their own display, but like my point and perspective is looking at it from a lens of a massive audience of people who are watching it. So how can we make it shine? How can we make it sing? How can we amp it up to make it even better than it already is, staying in the same lane as the family's already doing, right? Like, so if they have a theme, we want to stay on that theme. We want to push that theme. In fact, that is a huge thing. Like I would suggest to anybody wanting to be on the show is really having a clean, clear idea of what your display is. What is that theme, or what is that idea, or what is that goal? What's the why? And so we just kind of like really kind of hone in, like, okay, you have this idea for how the light fight's going to start, the lights on mechanism, we call it. How can we amplify it? How can we make it bigger, better? How can we, but being true to the family. I always say, like, I might suggest things. I might use an example of what I would say if it was me, but ultimately at the end of the day, when the show airs, this family that I'm working with, I want them to feel comfortable sitting with all of their friends and family, feeling like they're true to themselves and that they're not acting, that they are not being false, that they are saying words that would really come out of their mouth versus what a producer said or told them to say. So just being really authentic to who they are. So that's always the purpose for me, is to make it the most them, if we add stuff, it has to be them. It has to be like they're in on it. Like it's not like you're doing this because we say you are. Like that's the show. It would be so false if it was. So that the creative call, and then I'm on call. So I mean, I tell them they can call me anytime, day or night, whenever, and we'll jump on the phone. And if there's a problem or a concern or a question or what, and we'll talk about it. That's all I do for weeks leading up. And then and then I call it, it's getting real. The getting real moment shows up. And that's when myself and the production manager, who's the logistics person on set, and then the person who's working with me as a segment producer, associate producer type, we show up the day before the first shoot, and we come in and that's, I mean, I think I talk for about 2 hours and answer questions, and we walk it, talk it. And that's when I really start talking about how to be yourself in a comfortable manner on camera. Because it's scary to be on camera. It's really scary. We all know that. I mean, there's always like a little bit of boo, even before, so just kind of talking to them about that and how that works, like moving your body. Like, I'm sure if there's anybody on here right now from any of my teams, they're like, turn your knees towards your camera, open the camera, sparkly eyes. I always say that. I'm like, okay, everybody, big breath, lots of energy, and sparkly eyes, because the eyes are the windows to the soul, and you want to be forward versus like, I'm stressed, scared. It's a fight or flight that people go into. So I'm like fully like trying to talk. So we talk through all of that, because even if they don't all get, or, all that information doesn't seep in that night, subconsciously it does. And the next day is a lot easier when a huge crew of people scampering around your property in all black shows up with big cameras and jib and the lights and everything. It's intimidating. But I feel like the way I work the families, the way I work the families through the whole process, from the moment I have the first phone call with them until the moment that it gets real, that it makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more fun and more memorable and more of one of those experiences that, you have for life, a fairy tale experience. So, and then we shoot for 2 days. It used to be days on end back when we first started the show, but we shoot for 2 days. So the first day would be the reveal. So the first thing often we shoot, often, not always, is the reveal where the judge shows up and the crowd's there and there's all of that going on. And then the second day, I say it's reverse engineering. So there's a lot of things that we certainly know as producers and the family, and we've all talked about, like their DIY stuff, the things that are really different or are the same as somebody else but done in a different way, or you know, pulling back the curtain. We like to say, like, we want to see behind, we want to see the dirty, we see the beautiful, and that's what but we want to
show me the dirty. All right.
Yeah, because we want everybody to have takeaway, right? We want the audience to be like, oh, that's so cool. I have paper clips. I could use paper, you know, or I have a, you know, a bicycle, whatever. And I have a windshield wiper engine. Like we want the audience to have takeaways. So we really do try to focus on that. And so, of course, we in the talking points, as we work through the display, we stop at 5-ish major spots to talk about things, but then often many more on smaller talking points. Those things we take the judge through. And if the judge really latches onto something, even if they don't, but especially if they do, really latches onto something, that next day we get the opportunity to reverse engineer it and go back and like not reenact it and not act it, more just take it down and put it up again and talk to us about it, or talk, well, not us, not the producers, but like talking to each other about what they're doing, which is tricky. That's a hard thing to do. Where you're like, I don't know, because this is what I do every day. I don't know how to talk about this. But so then that day is reverse engineering. We do sit down interview often that day. We do all the sunset shots for the transitions. We do the hero shot. Well, first we do the intro shot, which is we're the Hill family and da 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 da, right? And then the hero shot, I call it a moving picture. So it's something where they all run together and cop a pose, or they all run together and laugh and fall on the ground, or they spray the lens with snow and the lens closes, or, you know, whatever sort of fun thing. So that's the hero shot. So those elements and then B-roll, of course. We shoot all of those elements or many of them on day 2. And it just depends on the schedule, because sunsets kind of shift for us and we have to move, like even across different states, the times shift and change. So you have to kind of work the schedule accordingly. And then even then it's like on the fly, you're like, oh, the sun is hitting too hot on the front of the house. We're going to go to the back real quick. And we're going to shoot that thing because we need that sun to like soften up. So it's not like blasting in their eyes or a lot of like, you know, here's our plan A, and now let's go to C, D. Okay, back to A, B. You know, so it's a lot of like, but it's amazing.
Organized chaos, huh?
And we just kind of.
Well, speaking of, you talked about bright eyes. Speaking of, there's a guy who did awesome on camera. Was the Slankard family? We were on last year. Did you produce the Slankards?
I did it.
He had one of the best intro laughs. He was just ecstatic. Great bright eyes. Good job, Robert, there.
So good. Go, Robert.
So Brian's asking, besides only 3 families per episode this season for 13, what will look different in production that we'll see? Will the winning reveal moment look different? There are some changes to this year's show. Do you want to go ahead and talk about that?
Yes. So this year, so as you all know, we have, since season, I want to say 5 and 6, we shot at the same time. So we went from 5 into 6 that time, so we could stack a season ahead to have that available and not have to shoot early in the year when people are still decorating for, I don't know, 4th of July or something like that. People had to start so early. So we did that. So we knew we had a stack. We knew we had a season ready to rock for this year from last year. But something that changed was that there was a lot of feedback that all that pulling back of the curtain was so interesting and fun, and people were really like sinking their teeth into it. So through knowing that, and that might not be everybody, but that was a big overall. Knowing that, we decided that by doing 3 episodes, we could really like highlight and open wider on a lot of that stuff that made it more exciting. I mean, I loved 4 families per episode, but I really loved 3 families per episode because you really got to sink your teeth into them. I mean, I feel like, with 4 families, it was so quick. It's like they're done. The segment's done. The segment's done. The segment's done. And here's like you get to sink your teeth in a little bit more and really get to know more about the family dynamic and the family and their DIY and really kind of get that behind the scenes look. So I feel that will continue after this season because I think people will really kind of be like, oh, I like that. I get to learn so much more about all this stuff and really get a sense of who the family is versus just being flipped into the next season or next family. So that remains that'll likely remain the same in our following seasons. So that'll feel a little bit different, but pretty much other than that, really like getting in a little deeper, it's the same show. I mean, the is the same. Everything's pretty much the same. It's just a little bit juicier, a little bit more info, a little bit more exciting to really get to know the families.
Doug's saying he loves the behind the scenes stuff to see how the show comes together. And one thing Brian and a lot of the light fighters talk about a lot is even if you don't win, you get professional grade footage of your home, of your display, of your family that can be seen for generations. That's one cool thing about media today, YouTube. In 30 years, our grandchildren are going to be tuning in and say, hey, what was Grandma Ann like? What was Grandpa Charlie like? And they can watch, that.
Totally.
So this, having 3 families per episode, you get more screen time and you get more knowledge of the family, right?
Yeah. And you have a better chance at winning the $50,000.
There you go. Better chance of winning
the trophy and be a champion of the Great Christmas Light Fight. Yeah.
It's all about the trophy.
I know.
It's all about the trophy.
Those trophies.
So one thing, do you know J.R. Matos?
I know that name, but I don't know.
He's a former light fighter, and he's since taken his hobby. He created Matos Designs.
Okay.
And I do a nationwide contest myself every year. People send me footage of their videos, and we choose a winner of. And last year he created a humongous, awesome trophy for us. Thing is heavy, but even people just want the trophy. They don't care about the prizes or the money. That's just icing on the cake.
It blows my mind. It shocks me every time the families say, I don't really care as much about the money. I'm like, really? I just want the trophy. I mean, the trophy's so fun. I had a family that created a cutout trophy. And then we swapped it out for the real one when they won, which was fun. But and then I know another family that was one of my families that won and has a tattoo of the trophy on his leg. Yes.
Isn't that Patrick?
That's Brandon Brown.
Brown. That's right. Yeah. Brown. That's right.
That was such a fun display. Display. But yeah, I got to see images as he was doing it, like they would send. I was like, that's awesome.
So Brian's saying he filmed the past contenders again. They want more airtime now. They want more airtime.
I know. And it's always like we'll just go back and just shoot 3 first. Yeah. All past just so they can get more airtime. I know, it's fun. And it's
Lighting Up Orchard.
What's that?
So Lighting Up Orchard wishes it would start at Thanksgiving and end through Christmas week. It's so what this season, which airs December 4th, it's back-to-back episodes for 3 weeks. We would all love it to start at Thanksgiving because it's I start watching Christmas movies at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Christmas content. But one thing, talking about the money real quick. I'm a huge fan of Big Brother. It's my favorite reality TV show. And for years, I'm like, why are you only giving $500,000? Up that bad boy up. You never heard anybody say that about the light fight. Nobody's like $50,000. Nobody cares about the money. It's all about the trophy.
It's true. It is absolutely true.
So let's see here. Do you have a favorite behind the scenes memory of a family or something? Maybe it could be a hijink moment, could be a silly moment. Do you have what are your, not necessarily your favorite, but what's a great memory you have from behind the scenes?
Oh God, I have so many great memories. One thing that's super cool. And I think this happens with all of the teams, but being on my team and seeing it firsthand, you know, we have this crew that pretty much I've worked with the majority of them for a majority of the seasons. And so we're a pretty cohesive bunch, but we come in and whirlwind around the families whose display it is. And I tell the family ahead of time, I'm like, it's so weird how it becomes like a family. Like everybody's kind of included. And so like we always do after the interview, we'll call all the crew in that's like doing all sorts of other things. And we all get in and we do a picture with the family and the crew. And I love that moment. I love the fact that afterwards so many of these families are like, this is like memorable up there with like my wedding, and this is memorable up there with like a child being like it's such a magical experience to do the show. It's once in a lifetime. It really is. I mean, it's and because the crews and all of the teams have been so handpicked for so long and keep coming back by like, you know, Brady when he was working on, and then Max and Felicia. It's just like we all want to be there. We all want these families to win on each team and each member of the crew. So it becomes this like whole family system. So taking that to your behind the scenes moment, I think that one of my favorite things is when we're all together and we're shooting and we're going down our plan of schedule, and something comes up that triggers somebody. It's like, that's really fun, because on my team, certainly, and I'm sure all the other ones too, I'm very collaborative. Everybody can jump in and come up with cool ideas, and then let's pull it off. Let's do it. Let's make it awesome. And so, you know, we'll start with an idea, and literally in minutes, it's like boom, 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 crew, like family, everybody's like popping ideas, and we create these moments that are like promo moments. They're just these wonderful moments that everybody created together in a split second moment on set, on site, as we're shooting. It's magical. Like, it's so much fun. One of my favorites, and like there's so many, I can't even like remember them all. I'd have to like really like think through each episode and how it turned. But I mean, I was talking about Jordan Winton earlier, the younger gentleman from Nashville. And he ended up like wrapping Christmas lights around him. It was right when our that newer elf logo came out with the lights around him.
Yeah.
And we did that, and we did this like funny, we got him to do this like really funny giggle. And it was like just like the elf, the animated elf. And they used it for promo because it was like he was wrapped just like the elf. He giggled just like the elf. And it's just like, it's just fun to do creative, fun, clever, goofy. I mean, that's something that's so fun about the Great Christmas Light Fight. You can lean into the fun and the silly and the happy and the childlike layers of in this show within the context. It's just
Patrick's favorite moment was Carter trying her rope. I remember that from his episode.
That was mock. That was hilarious.
Okay.
There was some behind the scenes that happened on that one, y'all. I mean, roping's not so easy.
Probably not. Giatano, he's an alternate. He's just trying to get on. He's been alternate for 2 years now. I saw a new light fighter pop in. Where'd she go? Here it is. Bill and Annette on season 13, debuting December 11th. Can't wait to see their episode. But they did not get a group picture with the crew.
Maybe it's just our tradition. Maybe I should write that into the documents from now on, because it's fun.
Look at you.
I mean, last year we had to AI somebody in because they had to, we had wrapped, and they wrapped early because they had to go to the next location for whatever reason. We AI'd that person in and sent it to the family.
I did that with our oldest boy got married, and our youngest son is active duty military, so he was on assignment, but we AI'd him into the wedding photos. Let's see here. Great question, Rob. How do you send in videos to try to contend? Let's talk about that. I should have said that earlier. I apologize. So how do people get on the show?
So one moment while I get to the web. So I don't do casting, so I asked Felicia that question. I was like, "What's the website again?" And I might have to get my glasses for this. Oh wait, lightfightcasting.com. So yes, sending videos in. Okay, so videos end up being really important. So you mentioned an alternate earlier.
Yeah.
Also, any of those folks who are looking to be cast, you go onto the website and submit. But you want to submit as much as you can that really highlights your display, right? So I'm trying to find what I was. I don't know where it is.
I do the same thing all the time.
So if it's your cell phone, and my cell phone's occupied right now.
Horizontal, right?
Anyway, yes. So horizontal. And the reason for that is, and I have this whole thing in when I teach people like about how to be on camera, which is why is this? If you think about it cinematically, it's history of cinema. But the reason for that is it is more story this way. Our eyes as humans go horizontally, not vertically. And we have 56% more eyesight horizontally than we do vertically. So the horizontal gives more story. It gives more image, gives more picture. If you think about turning your phone, vertically, there's a lot of ceiling space. And while on this particular show, ceiling, I say, but head space, there's lights, yes. And then the ground, there's typically not lights, right? Like the black, the dark spots, right? So, but if you turn it horizontally, you get so much more story and picture and yummy visuals. So shooting it horizontally, and you want to really take it slower than you think when you're filming. Like if you're doing a pan to the right, it's slow and steady as possible. Longer clips are better. Maybe not for the casting. You'd have to look at exactly what the casting specifications are, but for self-shot footage, which we end up using on the show, it's slow. It's slow, and you want to get the big picture, and you want to go in for more details, and it's slow moves, not 5-second clips. It doesn't, it's like all the stuff, and so it's covering in film, TV and film. It's the master shot, which is the wide that gets us the whole sense of space and place. Right. There are the mediums that show us, like, if it's on a Christmas display, it's a little scene, like a scenelet. There's a little section that's the gingerbread section. That would be a medium shot. So you want to shoot that just by itself, right? Whole house, all by itself. Mediums for the scenes, all by themselves. And then you want to go in for close-ups. Like, we want to see the paper clips, or we want to see the bicycle, what are they called? I blanked on it the last time I said it, but like the windshield wiper blades. We want to see all that stuff. We want to show us what the behind the scenes of your display is, because those are super exciting elements that are teasable for the show, that will help you get on the show, all the things. So that kind of footage. So, and then with, as far as, I'm not sure, like, again, the specs of like the editing and how much you send in or not, but if you're on camera, it's big energy. It's not fake. It's not false. It's just the biggest, best version of yourself for camera.
There you go. Yeah.
Bringing it up, right? I call it extroverting. I'm an introvert. Right now I'm extroverting. Really? But I'm still, like, anybody who knows me knows I'm genuinely me, but I'm extroverting right now. So it's bringing it up, just bringing your biggest, best self, like the person at your wedding or a networking event or a big party, your birthday, like that big version, and the energy in your body, because it shows excitement and passion. And we have excitement and passion for the things we love, like our hobbies, right? So it's bringing those in. And those kind of elements, I mean, there's tons of them. I could go on and on about this. I teach all sorts of lengthy classes about it. But all of those things help build the excitement of the person watching. I always say it's the me. It's a me mindset, but it's not me. It's who's the me on the other side of the camera. What can I give and share with them? it takes you out of your own like being
It
conscious
does.
too at the same time. But what can I give them? What can I share with them? What can I teach them? What's the me on the other side of my lens looking to learn? And so it's that too.
My brother-in-law is a stand-up comedian. Shout out Rob Buzzboom. And anytime my sister-in-law Angie wants to show him off, she goes, "Hey, bring out a little Rob B tonight because it's big, it's animation, it's like hey, it's goofy." Because normally he's just like before first time I met him 16 years ago, he goes, "Hey, just so you know, I'm not very personable in person. On the stage, I am, otherwise not." So we call that the Rob B moment in our family.
Yeah, the Rob B moment is huge. It's
yeah.
I call it, you know, people say alter ego, but an alter ego is like Lady Gaga or David Bowie. Those are different personality creations that they have done. So they even dress differently. This is an alter equal. It's just you, bigger, better, with your peacock feathers out.
Bill and Annette are saying that the crew there was amazing and that filming is a lot. They're going nonstop. So it's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts on set, right?
It is long schedules. And I don't think anyone really realizes until they are in the thick of it. But I say this to families, and I think any of them would agree after the fact, but it's like the best way to manage that is to be ahead of schedule. You know, you want to be done the day before we scout, not on the end of the day you want to have your schedule, like your setting up of your display, like as done as soon as possible. And the reason for that is because if people are like leaving stuff until the last minute, they're not sleeping, which comes across as low energy.
Yeah.
Their brain isn't working as well because they're tired. They've worn themselves into exhaustion, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, get your sleep, drink your water, keep that brain, you know, it's like the lubricant for the body, water, yeah. And eat. And then the other thing I say is I'm like, okay, so the outfit you're going to wear for the reveal, comfortable shoes. And they're like, gorgeous stilettos. And I'm like, you will want to die because you'll be on them the whole time. And you can't take them off because of continuity. They have to match the whole way. So work in comfortable shoes when you're doing the show. The other thing is, like, you know, a lot of folks will wear these really cool costumes or whatever, but they don't layer underneath. And these nights, like, they get cold.
Yeah.
At any given time, I am wearing 8 layers on the top, 8 layers. And
that's a lot of layers
on the bottom.
That's a lot of layers.
It is. But it's like it gets cold. And while it might not be cold while you're working on your display and setting it up, if you're standing around, which is what a lot of it is, and not necessarily standing, but like you're standing there talking on camera, it gets cold. Colder than you're used to when you're setting up the display and moving around a lot.
So speaking of cold, that makes me think of a common question that always pops up in the off-season, the light fight, is what states have been already filmed in and what new ones. Everybody's always wanted to know, is there a new state represented in the next season? Are there any new states this year?
I don't believe so. I do have a cheat sheet, though.
Oh, look at you go. There's a theory that a lot of them are regional. Like Brian, I think he only found 8 families, but he has a theory that it's regional filming this year.
So, due to kind of the like domino effect of the pandemic, there is some region, you know.
Okay.
We're all kind of all over, but there are kind of it makes the schedule like easier for all the families. It's easier for getting gear back and forth, and we do try to switch it up. But I mean, I wouldn't say we don't go for regional, but then when all the families are cast, we go for the cast first.
Right.
That's first and foremost, because if you don't have a great cast, it doesn't matter where you're shooting. Like, So then once we have the cast, then they chunk it as regionally as possible for the crews that are traveling around for 6 weeks with to make it just function on a more timely like schedule. But we have 8 states. I don't know. I'm looking to see if there's any that I'm like, have we filmed in before?
Brian would know.
I know California is often on there. Texas is often on there.
Mhm.
Maryland?
Maryland.
There before. New Mexico, I think we filmed there before. Arizona,
Yeah.
I know we filmed. Yeah. I mean, there are a few states that we have not filmed at, and I'm not going to remember them all, but I want to say Alaska. We have not filmed in Alaska. We've not filmed in
Alaska. I can take Kansas. Nobody in Kansas yet.
Nobody,
Rhode Island, I think.
We haven't?
No.
What?
Not in Kansas yet.
No. All right, that's next. Come on, Kansas. Who wants to be on the Great Christmas Fight? Send your stuff. Represent.
Troy's asking for next year. When would the crew show up? Is it an August setup like everybody is guessing? Do you know?
I can do kind of an educated guess, but I can't know exactly. But I believe in the past. God, it's been so many years since we did it. I believe we did. So I typically fly on October 31st, Halloween. That's when I fly out to my first location. So we certainly would be filming in October, but that would probably be towards the end of the shooting schedule for next year.
Right.
So towards the end, not the end. The end would probably be November. Our editing post team are like so killer.
Oh, I bet.
They're so fast, but it is a tremendous amount of footage to whittle down. September, October would definitely be, I mean, it's possible the display would probably start going up maybe in August.
Yeah, so July is when Christmas Expo happens. That's kind of the unofficial kickoff for the Christmas season for all of us. I'll typically start hanging lights on September 13th is my court date. It's the 13th, time to put lights up. But most folks are kind of thinking, hey, I need to have all my props built at least by August for at least probably an August-September setup for filming. So probably there's been a lot of questions about that with next year's new system.
And I wish I could speak better to that, but I don't recall. I remember doing it, and I remember it being warm. But when I was doing it, we also were it was a different format. We started our first season. It was different judges. Also, it was Michael Maloney from Extreme Makeover, and then Sabrina Soto, who she was on Extreme also here and there, I believe. But those two were the judges, and they would do this. The families would do a phone call where they'd get a call from one of them and say, it's time to start setting up your display. Okay, go. And they hadn't set up anything before that filmed conversation. And then they go and start shooting it or start setting it up. And we're filming like the very beginnings of it. And that was earlier, but I don't remember exactly when that was.
Giotano saying last year he had to be set up by November 2nd because as an alternate, he had to be set up, which is, I guess, a year ago, 3 days ago. See here.
I think that something that's really, really cool about alternate. My first year, I had an alternate, and that first year we shot alternates in addition to our main. Okay. Yeah. That ended up being, it worked out great for what I'm about to say, but it's kind of like expenditure, it's a big expense to have a whole crew traveling and shooting and all of that to then not be able to use it. And it's a lot of work for the family to be filmed and not have it used. So, but the alternate's such a fun thing because even my first year, and I think almost every year we have had an alternate go.
An alternate win too.
And an alternate win. So my first year was Tim Macrina, the Macrina family. And I was there and I'm shooting it and I'm like, I'm calling back to LA. I'm like, I don't know, you guys, this is pretty awesome. I think these guys are going to win. And they stayed an alternate. But we had shot with, anyway, they ended up getting it. You know, they synced in however that worked at the time, and they ended up winning. So, so the alternates, there's two things. I think that there is, because they're an alternate, there is a different mindset where they're maybe not quite as stressed. I mean, stressed, yes, 100%. These are stressful things to set up. But I think that there's like a little bit of a different mindset. And oftentimes there are a lot of wins that come out of alternates. But I think the coolest thing about alternates is it's a dress rehearsal. And if you're at the point of being an alternate, I mean, I can't say you're going to be on the show, but you're going to be on the show. So you can like get that all honed in. If you have 1 year where you're an alternate and you got it all honed in, the next year you can take it up a notch, hone it in further. Like by the time you get to it, there's a high chance you could win because you've had that extra time. You have had those conversations. You have all that background stuff that I talked about early on our call about, you know, you've done all the paper, you've sent in all the stuff, you have that all behind you, done creative couples, and now you're rocking and rolling. You're like,
Troy, for season 1, Troy said he had to be ready by Labor Day.
Woo!
And speaking of season 1, Michael Simmons will be on my show next Monday, talking about Light Fight and going back in the day.
Past. It's so fun. It's like alumni, right? It's like
Bill is saying sleep is one of the best tips he can give. You're talking earlier about how it's nonstop. You're exhausted. Get some sleep. Bill and Annette saying sleep is a great tip that you gave.
Yeah, it's huge, and people think they can push through, and they could if they're going to watch their guests come to their display, but you're not going to want to see yourself on camera not having sleep.
Yes.
You know, there's that different element where it's like you can crank to get your display up, and then your neighbors and friends and people come look and drive by and you're tired, but you don't have to be on. That's what that needs the sleep. And they're long hours. I mean, we usually do 12 hours on set, and a vast majority of it is with the family. I mean, we come and set up ahead of the working with the family, and we break down after working with family. But like, I'd say a good 10 hours each day.
So let me ask you a best practices question here, and any light fighters that are watching now or later, put your tips in here as well in the comments. So one of the reoccurring things about how to get on the show is fill in your dark spaces. I hear that a lot from all the producers, from everybody that comes on. Would you agree with that? And if you do agree with that, what are like the top 3 things you have to remind everybody as advice to get on the show?
So for the dark spaces, throughout the course of the seasons, we've leaned more and more and more and more into, I mean, we've always had the jib camera, like that, you know, on the crane, but we've leaned more and more and more into drone, right? And so if you think of the drone going up and getting this epic shot as the music's rolling and we're going to whatever, like you think of that. And if you're thinking of an image of something, trying to think, like, I don't know, piece of art on the wall, you know, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know, Mona Lisa, half her face isn't there because there's no coloration. And you're like, there's a black spot, and it draws your attention to it. And that is that's an epic moment where, like, that's where you really can make your display like magic, like shine, sparkle, all the things. And it's tricky because, you know, people are living their lives while they're putting the display. So there's like cars in and out and whatever. But, you know, a lot of people end up doing arches over their display. I've seen plexi over with lights under it.
Those are neat.
One thing that I love, and this is kind of more of like a movie kind of trick, I worked on Fast and Furious 7, and they do what's called a wet down. And so what that is like and it's a little tricky when you're filming because you have to be on top of it because it'll dry up, especially if it's dry and humid out. But let's say you have arches over the driveway. You do a wet down of your driveway, it doubles the lights. And it makes it sparkle and shine, and it makes it more magical. So that's, if there's a way to make it look wet, I'm sure there's something that one of our light fight families could invent that makes that look slick. Maybe it's like a Mylar, on the ground, and you just roll it out after you put the car up, but it's that reflective quality that kind of amplifies that area and still leaves it somewhat effective for life of coming in and out and dropping off Christmas lights and that you just picked up at the store. So that's the reason why the dark spots are important because it leaves part of the art out. And with those shots.
What are like the top 3 things you always have to remind everybody to do when they're on the show? Is it get sleep? Is it wear the right shoes, or kind of things we've already covered, or is there something else?
A lot of those things. Another thing is, like, if you're at the point where you're going to be on the show, delegating. So people forget how involved they are. Like, there's somebody coming up and adjusting a microphone. There's somebody coming up and like, no, remember we wanted to do this wardrobe for this. And can you go change clothes? And like, there's a lot, like, you need to go to the bathroom right now because we're about to go on camera. Like, go do that. Go try, because there's all sorts of things, and all of the crew, at least, I'm sure with all the teams, is talking to all of the cast members all the time. So there's a lot of different directions, and it's like, somebody comes up, we're filming this over here for B-roll. Can you turn the Ferris wheel back on, or this, that, or the other? There's so much going on, and people think that they're able to manage kind of the outside part of the reveal, which includes crowd management, feeding crowd, giving them cookies or hot chocolate, giving them costume pieces or whatever, managing them going in and out of the house. There's elderly family members that need to have chairs, making sure chairs are, all of that extra stuff. Having somebody that you delegate to kind of be your wellness manager, taking care of a lot of things so that you can focus just on all the production stuff that's coming from every direction. So I think people that hand that off, and I think light fighters are, like me and crew, we're very A personnel. We want to do it all. We want to do it. We want to be in control of it. We want to do it. But the truth is, like, you can't, in that situation, you can't do it all anymore. You have to like delegate and hand off stuff to people, trusted friends, family, to take care of and help you with, so that you can focus on the experience. It makes for a better and more memorable, exciting experience for the family if they're able to do that.
So for this upcoming season, how many of the families did you work with?
6, 5.
Okay. Now
I'd have to look through. Hold on, I can probably.
No, you're good.
I can do a quick look and with my spectacles.
Or who are the families that you worked with? Do you know?
5.
5?
I don't know.
Can you tell us who they were?
I can't. I don't know if I can tell you who they are.
Fair enough. Inside baseball.
I didn't ask that question.
So Giancarlo's asking, since he's been an alternate, does he need to reapply to be on the show for next season?
Once you're an alternate, you're certainly on their radar, right? The casting department and the executives, but it wouldn't hurt to like update some of your footage, right? Or reach out again. Don't wait for them. They have a gajillion people that they're dealing, like, kind of promote yourself again, up your footage, up your display, show the things that you've changed and added. I don't think it's going to be a reapply because you've already filled out the application, right? You've already sent in the footage and they have all the information and this and that and the other, but it wouldn't hurt to like kind of re-up and remind.
I forget what the software is called, but AJ had me do one for a local house here that was nominated. But there's some software where you upload video. You're constantly uploading new video, so you can just simply log in and see what's new at the house, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't remember what that's called right now.
Yeah, me either. I can look it up, but that's okay.
But yes. And there's like folders in there that you can upload.
Yeah.
I believe, photos and videos, but remember, y'all, sad.
Yeah. So this year you got 6 episodes. One of them's a heavyweight. Now, Brian asked earlier in the comment, I don't know if I can find it or not, but there's always chatter at the conventions about, hey, we need to do a loser's bracket episode or a winner's bracket episode. Are there any special episodes, or are they just being tossed around in the idea phase for next year?
I think we're always looking and trying to come up with ideas of ways to make it different, like have different kind of lineups of displays. You know, we've done neighborhood and neighbors in the past. We've done heavyweights. We always are like talking about wanting to, you know, bring folks back for like a rematch, you know. But I think for that to ever happen, those displays have to be so hugely different than what they were. Hugely different. And also, I think a lot of the viewers, I mean, the folks that have done it want to do it again because it's such a fun experience, I think. But I think a lot of the viewers want to see something new, different, which is why either it would have to be so vastly different from the first display, or you know, we would just do just different families. But I mean, shoot, as a producer, I would love to bring a bunch of my families back together. I'd love to work with my families. Yeah. I just think that it would just have to be so hugely, vastly different. And then also, you know, viewers want to see new, different. Because
Josh reminded us it's called either box or Dropbox.
Go back and watch it. What's that?
Oh,
Dropbox.
Dropbox, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, heavyweights came back this year. I forget what night it is. I want to say it's the second episode. You got the Loda Perez, and I don't know how you pronounce the Plodor family. Plourde. I don't know how to pronounce them.
Plourd.
Say it again.
Plourd.
Okay. Plourd was December 18th. But it's going to air on December 4th. And December 4th is you got the Plasso, the Greason, and the Jimenez families. That'll be fun. It's called the Holiday Express. Who comes up with those names for each episode? Is that a producer or is that somebody else?
I think they come up because we don't have names for the episodes ahead of time.
Right.
We have matchups. Like we know who's going to be in what episode ahead of time. But I think once they get it to the edit bay, they kind of either submit ideas that generally kind of have a through line or something that really stands out. I think they name them.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
There's something I want to share that like this is always something that surprises families. And I think it's really important to know, which is that, you know, we say it, but like, I don't think until that moment where it gets real happens that they really realize that, you know, these displays, part of our jobs as producers is to help their displays sing, not only for the TV audience, but for the judges, for that moment in time. And I think that people don't realize that the judges do not see anything, any footage before they show up on set. They don't know anything about the family. We will typically tell them the name of the family and whether it's static or a synchronized display. That's pretty. Oh, and also what city they're in, because they're moving around so fast. Or like, let me just remind you that you're in Houston, Texas. But they don't see any footage ahead of time. They don't see any footage after. They are literally judging just in that moment, that night. And I believe they submit their scoring that night after they walk off the display. So everybody, I think, thinks that they see stuff and they have preconceived notions, and they don't. And so what's so crucial to the families, I always tell them, is like, you have to tell your story. You've told it to all of us all along getting ready for this moment, but you have to tell it all again. You have to tell it with passion and excitement, and and you have to tell it with enthusiasm and authenticity, and like the why, emotionally, like, why do you do this? Why is it important to you? Why is it special? Because those things are what the judges are judging on, and they are the only judges. There's no grouping of people that weighs in on any of it. So it is just that moment that is judged. And I think that takes a lot of pressure off of like footage that they think they're sending that the judge may see, but also puts kind of a real clear, okay, I have to tell this story right here, right now, because this is the only parts that they're going to know or hear, because we didn't tell them anything.
Yeah, I always like to reveal responses from their, facial reactions, their body language, always like that. But if they did see something ahead of time, Carter probably could have learned to rope a little bit better from the get-go. Could have done some practice in there. I was trying to get you to do a spit take. There you go.
Oh my God. We laughed so hard. That was hilarious. Sometimes we have to do a little TV magic.
Oh, yeah.
To make those kind of things happen.
Troy's asking, when the crew show up, how much equipment as far as trucks are there? And do you use local companies and vendors?
Usually the local companies tend to be bathrooms and caterers if we do that, or local restaurant. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's some other things. We work with, the local authorities on turning off street lights if we can, that might interfere with the display, and road closures if necessary. But pretty much we bring our crew and we bring our gear for the most part. Typically the jib camera and operators come from a more local area. So we have a bunch of jib ops like around the country that we've worked with for years who bring their gear, wherever they're closest to a shoot. So we have a lot of gear, but we're very good at like doing the, what do you call it? Where you like do this thing, pack it all in. So we do travel with our gear travels with a transportation company between sets, and then the crew travels, and then we get to the gear, and then we start it all over again. But I think we have 3 or 4 cameras on this show, in addition to like GoPros and drones, and those are other additional cameras. But like the big camera bodies, we have I think 3 maybe, and then all the lights and generators. And this is a fun fact.
Sure.
Charlie knows this, but last night I got back to Houston. I live in Houston, and I got a notice from my power company that I would not have power today at all, from like 8 to 4. So I did like the whole Great Christmas Light magic today, where like I'm on a Great Christmas Light fight, Jenny, right now. I have lights. I have my phone on power. I have my computer on power, and like we have to make things happen. We have to make the magic, and it is magical on set. Like the family makes magic with their display. The production team comes in and makes magical things happen when stuff goes awry. And so I am powerless with power. So I don't know if you can even hear. You might be able to hear that generator.
I can't hear it at all.
It's and like this neighbor's on a generator. That neighbor's on a generator.
No.
I have linemen on the street. They're all, So anyway,
I was a little worried that this might be the interview where a Great Christmas Light Fight producer, an Emmy-winning producer, dies from the fumes from the. No, don't. Make sure you got your windows open. Let's air it out. Let's not kill Anne today.
It's crazy. It is outside. So it was a Great Christmas Light Fight generator, and we upgraded our generators so they weren't quite as loud. And so I was a recipient of one of our older models, and that's out there. It's doing its job.
Speaking of behind the scenes, I forgot about Carter going through Carter, Texas through the walkthrough display. I forgot about that.
Yes, wasn't that fun?
It was.
Like, what?
And Bill and Annette are asking, what info do they receive before their air date? Is there anything they need to do? And your air date's coming up in about 6 weeks, Bill and Annette, or 5 weeks actually. So is there anything they need to do between now and then?
I believe that Felicia, Bree, Christina, that team, or somebody from, that gets instruction from that team, actually sends, I believe, clips or promos that you can use on your social media pages to promote it within your own community and fans. And then promoting it, there's all the things that you can't disclose until it airs, but there's a lot of stuff you can promote and tell your friends that's coming up, and, post everywhere and get all those viewers watching. So, yes, I believe they give you, so now we have the air dates, and I believe the next thing is you'll get some content that you can post on your sites and share.
And David's in this season this year. He says the amount of gear that showed up to film last year was surprising to him. So a lot of gear.
Yes, David Loader.
So one question that comes up a lot, kind of gets some from the production side of things, for families that have synchronized lights, what does production recommend with regards to music copyrights and permission issues to streamline and simplify that process for them and for you?
Okay, so we love synchronized. Those are such exciting. I get chills when I see the synchronized light displays, and usually I get to see them the night before when we go for the scout, because we do kind of a daytime part of the scout and then put sunset in the middle, so we have day and night, so we get to see that. The music is tricky. So basically, we suggest that you have 2 songs that you love the way your music dances to, that you have synchronized and you love it. We recommend that I wouldn't say more than 2 songs, because if we have the judge look at those 2 songs, you don't want them to get to the point where it's like they're bored. You want them, how you always want to leave people wanting a little bit more, to be excited, and they're like, and they haven't seen it all. If you've seen it all, you're kind of like, eh. So you want to leave them excited. So we don't want to over give them on light shows. So 2 songs is, depending on how long the songs is kind of a sweet spot. And it's hard because you've done all this beautiful work and you're like, I want to show all of the songs. But in that case, less is more. That it will help the judge, because they won't be like, okay, I have to still, and it's beautiful, but you know what I mean? So there's that. So it's like, it's picking like your favorite songs that do the best things with your light display. And those are the ones you submit. Also suggest a public domain song as your backup, because that one will definitely clear, right? And there is this whole clearing process that is long and difficult and expensive, and to have your heart set on one song could hurt your heart. So you want to have your backup plan, right? So pick your favorite songs, because the judge will watch them to your favorite songs. That's how we will have the judge watch it, right? And if they have to, in the end, because of clearance issues, if they can't get, let's say, I don't know, what's one of our favorite Christmas songs? A Mariah Carey Christmas song, right? So
there you go, yeah.
Get that cleared. Tanya or Carter still get to see it synchronized to that song. They're judging off of what they experience. So although it will potentially be replaced because it's so expensive and difficult to get Mariah Carey and her people to sign off on, it still gets the judge experience, and then they will try and use a song that is similar in sound to her song, so that it's synchronized well. And we will shoot even more than the 2 songs, because that gives us extra edit moments that we can use beautiful shots that maybe moments weren't used in those 2 songs. A perfect example of that is a family I shot with in Pasadena, California. And it was a Star Wars display. And in the real, what they showed Carter was the real Star Wars song. And the edit was something that sounded like the real Star Wars song.
So, and you may not be able to answer this. So one thing I do is there's a AI that I pay a subscription to, and I pay for the copyright, and I make my own songs. Here's the song I want, make it. Is that something that could be incorporated? Do you have any idea? Since it's like it's an AI version, but I pay for the copyright. Is that something that could be used?
I don't know the answer to that question, but
Yeah.
I have some AI knowledge, and I know that there, we talk to legal folks. This is off, not from Great Christmas Light Fight, but from other stuff I've done. And there's a lot of like, is it intellectual property? Is it and copyright and this, that, and the other? But I believe that if the attorneys that make these decisions for ABC haven't already, which they probably haven't already discussed how that's going to work, they probably will have answers shortly, because it is where it's going, right? And
Yeah.
I know that I've created AI imagery that when I send it to people, it has my stamp, it shows that it is my creation, and
Right.
it is truly my creation, and it is my intellectual property. So while I don't know the answer, I would assume that the answer is, if you have created it and it comes with that stamp, it does become potentially yours. But don't quote me on that, because I don't know for sure. But I mean, in the example of the image that I created, it was mine.
So Steve's tuning in and asking, will we ever see a head-to-head fight? Pixels v pixels, LED versus LED, static versus static?
Ding, ding. I don't know, but that's great.
Okay.
I mean, that's great. Like all of the families in the same are all LED. That's a great idea. I don't know. Maybe we'll have
for like Giatano, who's an alternate, and we have other folks on here who already been on. People are going to be on here to keep casting for years to come. What are some tips that you can share that you would recommend to families to make their experience the best, the most fun, the most awesome it can be? Any tips for those families?
I think some of the tips, and kind of just going backward just a little bit, but like some of those tips are like to delegate so that you do get to experience, to take pictures with the crew and, interact with the crew, because we love this show. We all just want to do this, like with clear schedules to do the show. So that camaraderie makes it a more enhanced kind of experience, and to enjoy the process. I mean, I always love it when families are interested as our trucks are being unloaded, or what the crew does. Like, I think most any crew member that's on the show will talk to the family about what they do. We love what we do. We're all specialists doing all these different specialties, and love to share it. Some of my favorite moments are like when little kids with a family will come up, and we will let them stand behind the camera and push the button to make it record, and then or that's come back with me and help direct the scene, or watch the monitors. Like, we like it. It is such a family experience on set that we like to have that interaction. And I know that like it certainly touches my heart when I'm watching dad watch son with the camera guy shooting a shot and like taking a picture of that. It's extraordinary. And it must melt their heart, melts mine. And then I know that the camera guy, like, if I ask him his name's Chris, if I ask him right now, what are some, he'd be like, that moment when I was showing, so-and-so, da-da-da, So really just like taking it all in, being fully present, which is another reason why having it done ahead of time is nice, because you're not worried about what you still have to do. You're present in the moment and getting to fully experience like all of the magic that is TV. I mean, I love it, and it's what I do every day, but it still is really fun to see it from a family's perspective, because it's so different from any experience. Most people that I've worked with on the show, most have not done television productions and don't know how it goes. It's really funny. Like we come in at like, my crew comes in at like 2 p.m. That's when we start. And everybody's like, good morning, good morning, good morning. And the family's like, why are they saying good morning to each other? It's because we went to bed at whatever time in the morning, 4 a.m, but the night before. So it is our morning. But, there's just like funny lingo, and it's just, the more involved the family is in the experience of their display and the magic of their display, but also kind of like how the making of this magical moment that their family will be documented on television forever. How that all happens is fun. I mean, I am really close with so many of my families. I got a message from a family today before I got on here from the Great Halloween the Great Halloween Fright Fight. I got a message from a family on the Great Christmas Light Fight yesterday. I got, I keep in touch with so many of, kind of peters out through the years, as it gets further away. But like, I could pick up the phone and contact Tim Macrina right now and be like, "Hi, how's it going?" And once the year has passed, I'm Facebook friends with many of them. So it really is like a family and a friendship. And like, I would go and see these families and spend time with them in my off time if I was in their area. And same, I would hope if they came to Houston. Yeah, it's neat. That's a cool part about it for me.
Yeah, think of that. In addition to Carter, Texas, his son got to play with the drone and the drone shot. So just exactly what you're talking, getting behind the camera, having some fun, creating memories, really.
Yeah,
you mentioned earlier that 80-90% of all your filmography, if you will, has been on good-hearted TV or cinema. So on the Great Christmas Light Fight, having something that's let's be honest. I know that this started with some execs saying, "Hey, I see synchronized lights on YouTube. Let's do a show about it." Tens of thousands of families worldwide now do things because of the show. In fact, I know there was one family on one season that got inspired by the show and then ended up getting on the show.
Yes.
How has being on this type of show affected you or impacted you? I know we kind of just touched on it maybe a little bit. Maybe that was your answer. All the great family moments.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I think what's really interesting, and I was like, is that true, or is that just what I think is true? Since I started working on this show, I would swear that there are a gajillion more Christmas decorations in. I know you're not supposed to say the names of things when you're on the show. So the hardware stores like Lowe's and Home Depot, like I swear it used to be like an aisle. Now it's like the whole garden section, right?
Yes.
I feel like, and then there's all the inventors from our show that have, they've created all these technologies that are mind blowing. And now, anybody can get it. It's incredible, because what that means to me is that the show is making an impact, like certainly on a national level, right? Enough so that product is being sold at a higher rate. There's more of it. And so, and Christmas is such no matter what your religion or what your celebration of Christmas is, it's that warm family. It's like, it's coming together, it's doing good, it's giving to others, it's all of that. And so what that means by seeing all that product and stuff is that is growing, and that is a big impact.
Yes.
From the tiny show, the little engine that was our show in the beginning, like that it has grown into this beautiful community.
Yes.
This hobby that more and more people are doing it, because it's such a celebration of us, community. Human.
Family. Yeah.
So
I know Jordan Maywall, Michael Simmons, they have products that they sell. I think the big three that probably have come are Tom Bett George, David Peace, J.R. Matos are probably the three that, and what I'm getting to here, they've created their own companies, which now employs families, and those families decorate for Christmas. So it's had a trickle-up effect where it's created a niche hobby that created a business that's now employing families and spreading the word, all because of your television show.
And I think I'm getting a little misty. Like,
you're getting the feels.
I think we're all humbled by that, because sorry, I'm real. Because I don't think we knew the impact that these families, I mean, we're behind the scenes. It's these families that show their passion, and it spreads.
Yeah.
And it's real, and it's exciting, and it's wholesome. It's all the good things. And I don't think that any of us knew. And we're so humbled that this is what it's become. Like, it's what a career gift.
That's a great way to put it. That's one thing that this is one of the few shows you can say this about. I think this is a benefit to mental health. I've had people at my display, and I know other people have had said, hey, I was in a bad way, and I came by your show, and it just centered me, or something to that effect. And that wouldn't exist except for your television show. That literally spreading the joy, spreading the love, and bravo.
Positivity, right? This whole community breeds positivity. So every family that does this show and does this and puts their life and their heart and their family and their creativity and their gifts out, or just think about, like, you're not just helping your own community, which is what so many of them say, because that's the direct line that they see, is that kids come and smile and they hear giggles, and people that are come every year and then they can't anymore. And, there's so many beautiful stories of those inspirational moments that they see out on the front of their street. But I remind them that they're giving this gift much bigger. They're giving it, when they're doing the show, they're giving it on a national, potentially international level. And I mean, that just a millionfold the gift that you're giving your community. I mean, your community has become the nation.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well said. Well said. So I appreciate you taking some time and sitting with us. I know we went long. I appreciate you being so gracious with your time. Is there anything I haven't asked you that we need to touch upon? Any last minute advice you have for anybody?
First, I'm excited my generator has kept going. So let's hope I can get through this one.
Yes.
I would say for any of those folks who are considering doing the show, lean into like what it is that is exciting and inspires you, right? Like, not like your display, yes, but for trying to get on the show, themes, like something that is a real clean through line. We have, for example, this season it's an elf theme, and we elfed all the way through from beginning to end. The family wears elf ears the entire time, when they're in their regular clothes, when they're in interview, when they're greeting their judge. So like these moments or these things that you can grasp onto, right, that are very thematic, that we haven't seen. I mean, that is so exciting and so fun. I mean, examples of that I can think of: the drone show, that was the Ward family. That was really like very specific. And that was a theme. We leaned on that the whole way through too. The garden, it's Evelyn Quintera.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was so specific and so clean. And not that everybody should do that. Everybody needs to have their own display, because if you have your own display and you're passionate about it, there is a reason, there is a why, there is a theme always. But if you're thinking like, how do I theme it out? Think about like, that, like, how do you make the galaxy into a Christmas display? How do you make gardening into your Christmas display? How do you make, I mean, I'm like, I don't know another theme. I do yoga. How do I make yoga? I'm passionate about yoga. How do I make yoga into a Christmas, whatever it is you're passionate about, dogs, whatever. Those are really fun to latch onto and give you such a nice, clean, like fun story that is very memorable, which is great for the judges and the audience. I mean, we love all Christmas displays, but that might be a really fun, if you're like trying to figure out how you want to do a display and you haven't done it yet, like, how can you theme it out? That would be different. That would be new and exciting.
So themes, clean line, your dark spaces, comfortable shoes, get some rest, eat. Anything I left out?
Sparkly eyes.
Sparkly eyes. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming on to the show. Hang tight for a second, but I'm going to let these kind folks go. If you're watching this back later, leave your questions down in the comments below. Next week, Michael Simmons from season 1 will be on to talk about his Tune 2 app. And spoiler alert, he's going to give it free to all residential shows. So anybody watching, if you have a residential show, you don't charge admission, he's going to give you his new invention for free. How cool is that? So make sure you tune in next Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm Charlie, and she's Ann, and we'll talk to you guys in the next video.